Hey guys, what's up? It's Philip with Trade Genius, and this episode wanted to talk about the Segwit2X fork. Yes, we have another fork, but I wanted to kind of go through what I see as potential pitfalls with this fork, as well as kind of what's going on big picture behind the scenes as far as the players and how this all ties in. So, yeah, we got another fork. So we went through Bitcoin Cash, and we're going to get back to this, but Bitcoin Cash was created when the miners saw that the user-activated soft fork Segwit was going to probably be the most viable outcome as far as disruption. You got to keep in mind, miners don't, they have to live off mining. So they have to mine, dump it to exchange, sell it, mine more. So they want to be mining something that's going to be the most valuable product or chain or fork, however you want to call it. So Bitmain, the Chinese mining firm and hardware manufacturing firm, they went ahead, they said, you know what, you guys, we're going to make Bitcoin Cash. That's going to be our fork. It was kind of like, oh yeah, well, kind of a thing for them. So they went ahead and they made it. Bitcoin Cash dropped immediately, then it came back up, and then has just been steadily dripping down ever since. And that's kind of what I believe all forks are going to do. You're going to have the Bitcoin main chain, which everybody's going to use and support, and you're going to have these attempts to fork it. Most recently, we saw Bitcoin Gold. That was kind of a disaster. I haven't seen any allocation of it. Most wallet providers aren't supporting it yet because there's no replay protection. And what that means is cross-contamination between chains. So if I was to send Bitcoin Gold to somebody, you don't want to also be inadvertently sending your Bitcoins. So without that separation, if you will, of the two chains, there's just not going to be broad support. So if I get some, I'll dump it, and I would recommend you do the same. Now with the Segwit2X, you have to keep in mind, Segwit's already implemented. So what we have now is a group that wants to dictate what we call Bitcoin, and that's really goes against fundamentally what Bitcoin is about. It's a decentralized thing. But if you want to have a group that wants to say, no, we think it should be like this, that's a problem in my book. So I'm not going to get into really deep technicals here, but Segwit2X basically wants to take already what we have, which is the segregated witness. That was the fork from July and August that created some volatility. That they want to add more capacity to the block. So we have 1 megabyte block or 2 megabyte blocks. Now they want to increase that. The problem with that is that wasn't really the vision of Satoshi Nakamoto. He wanted to create a 10-minute block architecture, and he said if you want to make it go faster, create mechanisms for that, but leave essentially the 10-minute block time frame alone. They want to make Bitcoin go fast, but if you look at the original intent, Bitcoin was more like the reserve currency, if you will, for crypto. And then have other payment channels. You could do Litecoin with Lightning Network or Lightning Network on Bitcoin, but increasing the block size means you have to stuff more information, and it's a larger thing that needs to propagate out into the blockchain. You want that propagation to go quickly, and bigger blocks just isn't the way to do it. And I don't want to start a holy war, but that's, if you really look at the original intent from Satoshi Nakamoto on the Bitcoin Talk forums, which anybody can go and see, and you really dig into it, that was his intent. Okay, so what I've noticed in the last 48 to 72 hours is I think I see what's going on as far as what happened with Bitcoin Cash and what they can do. And I think this might happen. We'll see. But I saw something that made me think maybe this is going to happen, and I'm going to show you guys. The other day, and we'll transition over to a chart. Here we go. So this is the Bitcoin network hash rate. Okay, so if you saw here on October 26th, you had this big dip in hash. But if we look over here at the Bitcoin Cash hash rate, we saw a big jump in hash. And then we also saw a bump up in price. This all correlated at the same time. October 26th, 27th, 28th. So this big bump up in price. So it got me thinking that Bitcoin Cash was probably looked at as a vehicle that when we got closer to 2x, they could move their mining hash power over to that. They could even pump up the price. They've been propping this Bitcoin Cash up a lot. I mean, if you look on the daily chart, here's the initial. This is on Bitfinex. This is a initial, gets listed. Everybody dumps. It goes from 0.25 down to 0.058, and then it comes back up. In our room, we suggested everybody getting out in this area anything above 0.2, which was really great. But then it's just kind of dribbled off into obscurity. Not really obscurity. I mean, it's 0.07 a Bitcoin, so it's several $100s, but it's just not a healthy looking chart. However, if you're going into a fork, and let's just say you're the 2x guys and you want to create some shenanigans and some propaganda, you could shift your mining power over to this Bcash, try to prop up the price, and use that as a vehicle to get your mining paid for, and slow down the main Bitcoin network. You follow me? So you could take the hash power away from the Bitcoin mining over to Bitcoin Cash. It would cost them because ultimately they're not going to make as much, but it would facilitate this propaganda that they could say, oh, look at Bitcoin, leading up to the fork. They could say, look at Bitcoin, it's slow, there's a lot of unconfirmed transactions, but they're causing that. So all I'm saying is keep an eye out for that. If Bitcoin Cash, don't get left holding them back, because I would not recommend holding that past the fork. I think it's going to, they're just going to dump it. Also, too, you're going to have this now 2x fork token that will be the focus of their attention. But Bcash could be used as a tool before the 2x fork to make Bitcoin look laggy or the network's not performing well. If they do that, it's a very temporary thing, I assure you. But I just wanted to make you aware that's how these guys operate, and that there's a bigger picture going on if you do see that happening. So again, I think Bitcoin Core is the way to go, and the rest of this stuff is just a bunch of pre-fork shenanigans. So keep an eye out for that. Leading up to the fork, we can look at the Bitcoin chart real quick before we wrap up. We have I've been calling that we're going to pop out of this channel. If you look at what happened prior to the B Gold fork, 2 weeks prior, price just ran up. That was this up here, and we saw a little bit of a sell-off and some some movement rotation back into the altcoins, but not much. And now we're back into this pre-fork consolidation mode again. So how high do we go? Well, we almost hit this 64.53 fib, and I have another fib based on this here that takes us almost to 7K, and that would probably fulfill the move I was thinking of seeing as we popped out of that channel. Could it go higher? It's possible. 2x is more important than Bitcoin Gold ever was or will be, and you could get exuberant. There is no, this is all new country. We don't know what the supply history is up here. We kind of are starting to create one at this level. We're starting to see in this 5,700 area a good level of support for volume, but that's where these areas the price can move pretty quickly, because there's just the supply up there is unknown, and if it moves really fast, you could run out of a lot of supply. So pretty interesting. We could see some interesting moves up in the next couple of weeks. As far as after the fork, we do have some plans as far as altcoins and stuff like that. So if you are looking at diversifying into your altcoin portfolio, I would highly recommend checking out our the links below the video. Check out our special. I'm going to run it to the end of the month, which is upon us, but type in October when you're checking out, and the link for the crypto course is below. That'll get you the course. That's going to get you our proprietary crypto trading indicator that we program specifically for cryptos. Works really well on the daily for swings. We are working on a different one that you'll have access to for shorter time frames as well. All the crypto courses, and if you really haven't gotten into crypto yet, great, because it covers everything from soup to nuts, from currency to how we trade them, and the alts and portfolio allocations that we think are going to give you the best bang for your buck. Because you have to remember, not all these alts are going to be around next year or the year after, but we're looking at the ones that have staying power. So again, click on the link below. You can get access to that package, and also access, I don't know if I mentioned it, but access to our trading room for a year, which that in and of itself is worth the money. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy this video, and look forward to seeing you guys in the room. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.